Right. So I know one interesting thing that you mentioned that I did not think of before when actually, going on and acquiring a business. So, for
Mhm.
example, let's say a customer acquires a business, right? And there's a entire team in place and they have their processes. Like, have you seen that new boss kind of come in and just completely like disrupt the processes that the team already has in place, or what exactly does that look like? Like, do you think that there tends to be a lot of friction from your customer side, aka the person that wants to buy the business, and they kind of want to turn things around? They're like, no, we're gonna do things this way now. Have you seen a lot of that, or like what do you tend to see happens mostly?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, the advice I give my clients, right, who in this case are the buyers, is to not shake things up for at least the first 6 to 12 months, right? When you come in, the goal, your primary responsibility as their new boss, as the new owner, is to learn everything to the best of your abilities before you go in and start making changes, especially drastic changes. And given that most of the acquisitions we oversee, they're not like distressed assets. So it's not people buying a business to like because it's failing. It's usually they're buying a business because it's doing really well, right? So they're
Mhm.
almost like buying the cash flow, etc. I almost see the opposite, where a lot of buyers come in very cautiously and they're very respectful of what's already been put in place, right? Because for sellers, especially ones that have been working on this for a long time, it's a big part of their identity, right? It's their baby. They've built this business up. These team members are like family. This isn't like a multinational corporation, right? These are small businesses. So usually they're actually very respectful. They come in and they're like, hey, like we're not looking to shake things up. We're just coming in as a new owner, a new investor, and just looking to really just understand how things work and then incrementally make changes to better the business and to improve the business over the long term. So that's what I always advise. Again, the exception being if you're buying a distressed asset that's in free fall, then you have to come in and really shake things up. But 9 out of 10 times that's not the case. So being like understanding that this is something this seller has built, and every single employee there has more experience with that business than you do coming in, right? You have
Mhm.
to be respectful of that. And in fact, they're always a little bit, a little bit nervous buyers coming into this because they're like, we don't want the general manager to quit on us. We don't, because how is the business going to run? I don't know anything about this business yet. So they usually come in, and in fact, I have seen more pay raises than firings, if that makes sense. So
Really?
you're more likely to come in and give everyone like a little raise or talk, or make their lives better and easier rather than make their lives harder. So I had a client who bought a software business, and it was a pretty sizable business. And what the first thing he did in his first month was he hired an extra customer support person because the two that were on the team already were very like backed up. They were working weekends, nights, holidays. So his thing was, all right, we're going to hire a third person. No one's getting a pay cut. No one's, but we're going to get this third person in. You guys train them so that way you can have some weekends off. You can have holidays off. You can take time off. And so that, I've seen more of those things happen rather than people come in and like slash and burn.
So for that particular business, for example, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if you can obviously dive into the details. Is that okay? Uh,
Yeah, as long as we're not like naming it or
Yeah,
anything, it's
yeah, we're
totally
not we're
fine.
not gonna
Yeah.
name the business itself,
Yeah.
but I want to make sure that you're not gonna be like breaching any contracts or anything.
Ah, man, the TikTok bros are coming for me. Bring the lawyers too, I guess. I mean,
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, might as well, right? And
right.
either way, like dealing with lawyers is not that bad, you know. So,
This guy.
um, so that specific software business, for example, right? Like, so you mentioned that they had like a customer support team and everything. So, can you tell me some details about that, like, just so we can have like the audience understand like how much something like this would actually cost? Like, so I would like to know, how many employees that business had, if
Mhm.
obviously you remember.
Mhm.
um you said that it's a software company, of course, and how much revenue it was generating, and
Mhm.
how much did it actually cost for your client to actually buy in total?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think the total purchase price, it wasn't massive for that one. It was about, I think, right around 5 million. So it's been a little bit, so I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was about 5 million. They had about 9 employees. And then in terms of what it was making, I don't remember revenue numbers, but I know it was making somewhere around 1.2 million a year in net profit. So they bought it at
Mhm.
about a four something times
And
multiple.
that's and,
Uh,
and that's net
mhm.
profit. That's not even revenue. That's profit. That's what the guy was taking home.
Exactly. Yeah. So most of these small business acquisitions, they happen on a net profit basis. So
Okay.
when you go into like larger companies and corporations, you'll have businesses like, especially at like the startup corporation level, they get sold at sometimes at revenue, like revenue multiples, but at the small business level. And again, when I say small business, I mean anything under like $200 million.
That's a
They're
small
sold at
business.
I think like revenue wise, so anything with the valuation of under 250 million, yeah, I think even yeah, it's about small
Okay.
business, maybe 200 million. I don't know what the hard number is. I know there's like a definition by like the Small Business Association or something, but I don't know what that exact definition is. But it's a lot larger than you think when we say small business. Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, all I'm hearing is that you're calling out all the crypto bros that didn't make 250 million, that they're little brokies. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
mean, it is what it is, man.
they're already coming for you. Might as well just make it a little worse. You know.
Yeah.